Hello and welcome to another exciting episode of Weekly Entertainment. I'm your host. Thanks for joining us. We have a great show lined up for you tonight. We have one of my personal favorite writers. We have the lovely, the talented Nora Cook Smith. She's a local Michigan writer. She writes mystery novels, among other things. And she's going to be sitting down with us. This is actually, we have a very special treat for you. This is actually the first part of a two-part interview, also featuring Mr. Chris Nadeau, who was on the show a couple weeks ago. So you want to stay tuned for that. But of course, we like to bring you breaking news stories, and I think this is actually very sad, earth-shattering news. Justin Bieber's in the news. Apparently, him and his longtime girlfriend Selena Gomez. There we go. There's a photo. Apparently they've split up. I mean, this is a national just a national catastrophe. Because apparently, I guess Selena woke up one morning and decided that she doesn't want to be a lesbian. Okay. Also, more celebrity breakups. This time, Kat Von D. She was dating Jesse James, who broke up with. There we go. Thank you. Look at that's one odd-looking fellow. But that's DJ Deadmau5, I believe his name is. But apparently they've split up, and it's a sad day for relationships. And apparently, can we show that picture again of Kat Von D? And there we go. Yeah, apparently, she's doing okay. She's tweeted on her Twitter account, and like any mature adult does. And apparently, he's slithered back off to his cave, muttering something about his precious. And hey, the paparazzi apparently took a picture of me while I was out the other night. Can we show that picture? There we go. All right, there's the happy couple. Wow. Okay, that's enough. All right. Well, see, you never know. You always got to watch those paparazzi. Well, we have a great show for you lined up for you tonight. We have Nora Cook Smith coming on the show, first part of a two-part interview. So stay tuned for that, and we will be back. Hello and welcome to another exciting episode of Weekly Entertainment. Well, we are back for another week. We have a really exciting show planned today. One of my favorite writers. Actually, me and her go kind of a ways back. We used to attend a writing class together, and I used to sit right next to her every other week. And so let's give a very warm welcome to Nora Cook Smith. All right. Thanks for joining us.
Oh, I'm very happy to be here.
I haven't seen you in a while, and you're looking fabulous as always.
Oh, thank you.
Yes. Well, why don't you tell us what you have for us? You've written a few books, I guess, and a new one since last time we got to talk.
That's right. I have a collection of short stories called A Not So Perfect Christmas.
Great.
And that's published through a Michigan publisher, Com Publishing.
Okay.
And then I self-published a novella called Dead and Well and Haunting St. Luke's.
Dead and Well, wow.
That's a ghost story.
Oh, okay.
And it's about a young woman in a city hospital who dies and finds out that there's still more to life after death.
Wow.
And she has a mystery to solve.
Oh, cool. So what was your influence for that one? That one seems very interesting. Not So Perfect Christmas doesn't, which we'll get to in a minute. But
okay.
Tell us a little bit more about that one. Like
how that developed was I just one day into my head there dropped this idea of a girl who was alone a lot in life and alone in death actually, and finds herself unable to go beyond the hospital where she died. And she finds actually friendship and acceptance and love and all those things she was looking for. And I had this image of her walking through a hospital, visiting the nursery where the babies are. I thought, I have to write this story down.
So that idea just it just came to you just
I
out of the blue, or was it?
That's usually the way they come, and I have
Okay.
no idea why. Just the idea will pop into my head. It starts as like a little germ, and then usually while I'm riding around in the car, I start putting it together.
Oh, okay. Well, it's it's interesting because we just did a show about ghosts and everything paranormal. Now, have you had any experiences yourself with ghosts or anything? Could that maybe have been an influence in some way?
Not me personally, but in my family, there are several stories that involve ghosts.
Oh, wow. Okay, that's very
And my
interesting.
mother believes she believed. My mother is passed, but she believed when she was a little girl, just before her real father died, her birth father, that she saw her guardian angel.
Oh,
So, and my dad he believes, visited by his mother-in-law just right after she died.
oh, wow.
So, yeah, it's kind of a common folklore thing in our family.
Well, it seems like a common thing in a lot of families. People are always visited by relatives as soon as they pass, or are about to actually.
Right.
So, wow, that's very interesting. So this is more of say, a heartwarming story than a scary horror story about about a
Right.
haunting.
No, it's not a horror story.
Okay,
The
okay.
horror involves the young woman or the girl. She's
Right.
16 when she realizes she's dead,
Oh,
and she's the person that's scared.
oh, wow. Okay.
So I got to invent this whole world of people in this hospital who were not alive. They were dead, but they were technically still visible to each other and able to communicate.
Oh, that is really fascinating. So she can see all the other people who died in the hospital as well, and actually
That are
talk
still
to
there.
and interact with them.
Yes,
Wow.
yes, she does, and she can't actually physically touch the living, but she can
Okay.
touch anybody who's dead. So her only sensations really, or her communication, verbally anyway, is with somebody who's also in the hospital who also has not gone on.
Wow, that sounds like a really great book. Now, what is the name of it again? And do you have a copy you can show us?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
Was I supposed to have?
Yes, that's okay.
It's called Dead and Well and
Dead and
Haunting
Well.
St. Luke's,
Okay.
and it's by Nora Cook Smith.
Great. Because I definitely want to read this now. I
Okay.
mean, after hearing your brief synopsis of it, yeah, this is definitely something I would like to read.
Okay.
Now, your other one, A Not So Perfect Christmas, why don't you tell us a little bit about that and what that's about?
Oh, I had a publisher who was interested in some of my books, and or actually not my books at that point. It was the works that I had been doing. So I had gotten to know her through somebody else, and I asked her, "Would you be interested in a collection of short stories I've done?"
Oh, okay.
And because I'd entered contests or I'd written them for one reason or the other, maybe just for my own enjoyment, and she said, "Yes, I'd very much like to see that." So I put it all together, and I gave it to her in form of these 12 short stories. Actually, I gave her
Oh.
10, and she said, "There's 12 days of Christmas. I'd like 2 more."
That's right. Yeah. Yeah. That's
So
true.
I wrote 2 more stories, developed them. Actually, I'd had them partially written, so I finished it up for her. So there are 12 of them, and there's all different subjects. They deal with things around the holidays
Okay.
that maybe make it not so perfect. We all want that perfect holiday.
Well, of course. Yeah. Expect something out of
Oh, and a
like,
normal Rockwell painting.
Yeah, Norman Rockwell. Yeah, that's everyone's ideal
Yes.
vision of Christmas, but it hardly ever works out that way.
Right. In one of the stories, a man's ex from a very terrible divorce stops by with not only his child, but her child from her second marriage and asks him to take care of the children for Christmas.
Oh.
So, and there's another one. There's a ne'er-do-well college student who, after a night of drinking and not writing the term paper, comes upon a cat who has the power of speech.
Oh,
And this
wow.
cat doesn't want to have the power of speech. He's had a spell set over him. So this is obviously a fantasy story.
Well, sure.
But the two of them managed to work together to get their lives back on track.
Oh, that sounds great.
And there's another one where a woman comes to see her mother-in-law and finds out her mother-in-law is not going to survive.
Ah.
And it's the two of them, how they work through this holiday together.
Oh,
And
that's
so there's a number of
very,
stories.
so it goes from very touching stories to humorous stories, like the one with the cat. And,
Yes, that's supposed to be humor. And there's one
okay.
involving a couple of hitmen and a cat.
Oh wow!
And
I'm seeing a. So you must have cats then, or you're a lover of cats. 'Cause I'm seeing a
yes.
pattern here of cats.
Oh, I love cats, but I love cats and dogs. I love
Okay.
all animals.
Oh, sure.
One of the stories has a horse in it.
Oh,
Well,
okay.
it actually
Is it
has
a-
several horses.
Is it a talking horse? by any
No,
chance?
no,
Okay,
this is
okay.
not a fantasy. It's about a young
Okay.
couple who are planning to divorce. They had a horse farm.
Oh.
Everything has gone south for them.
Ah,
And they had a favorite horse, and it was a quarter horse, and they knew that this horse was going to be the race horse that was going to
Okay.
bring back their finances.
Ah.
And this horse is killed in an accident. And
Oh,
how do they
no.
survive? And how do they actually get through? And it's I think it's heartwarming. I've had people tell me they liked the story.
oh, it does sound great. I mean, all these stories just sound wonderful. I mean, I just can't wait to actually read this book. I really look forward to it. Well, I mean, there's just so many, there's just such a variety of stories here. How do you even begin writing something like this? Let alone actually putting it together, which we'll go into that, and like how do you determine what stories go where in a book? But what's your what influences you really?
It's putting together anything in writing is a lot of work. First you have to get it down. I always tell anybody who's writing, make sure you get it all down first before you start to go back and edit. Then you have to go over it, look at, obviously, is your plot working? Are your characters believable? I have other people read my work. I belong to 2 writing groups. I belong to a
okay.
mystery writers group, and I belong to another group that just about anything goes.
Right.
And so you want other people to listen to their critiques, what they're saying. Sometimes my favorite part has to go.
Ah,
And I think, but I love that sentence or I love that paragraph. And somebody will say, yes, but it doesn't move your story forward. You're bogging down your story, slowing down your action. And then you have to go through for all your typos and all that. And
Of
now if you have
course,
a
yeah.
publisher, they're going to go through a lot of that for you. But if
Okay.
you self-publish, which I did with the novella,
okay.
I had to do all that. I did get a couple of other people and enlisted their help to read the proofs and make sure there weren't grammatical errors, make sure my plot was working. And so
Okay.
it's a developing thing. It's a lot of work. It's fun, but it's a lot of
Oh,
work.
it is. I dabble in writing a little bit too, as you know. We
Yes.
attended a writing class together, and
Yes, we did.
I hope to have something finished. I'm hoping by January, so I'm still,
Is this
still
the
piecing it together.
the
It's-
dystopia one?
No. This one is about UFOs and alien abductions. Well, it looks like we have to wrap up this segment. I guess we'll be back in after this break.
Alright, welcome to a new segment. Well, it's not really new. Mark did this back when he was the host of the show, so I'm going to continue that part of the show as well. And this is going to be looking over Michigan events coming up this week. We got on Thursday, the 22nd, the America's Thanksgiving Parade happening in Detroit. On the 22nd, we got Fall Exploration Days happening in Midland, Michigan from the 21st through the 25th of November. These are all events happening this week, by the way. In Detroit, there is a Chris Isaak concert on the 23rd from the Fox Theater. I have no idea what the Indian River is, but there is Christmas in the River in the Indian River and it's actually the Indian River Chamber of Commerce, and that is on the 23rd of November. These events are all from PureMichigan.org, Michigan.org, or PureMichigan.com. You can look them up as well. Christmas Parade of Lights. This is up in Sault Ste. Marie on the 23rd. That's a little bit of a hike from here, but that is something to do in case you're watching it from the other side, from north of here. City of Kalamazoo Tree Lighting Ceremony in Kalamazoo, Michigan on the 23rd of November. We got the Fantasy of the Lights Parades in Howell, Michigan on the 23rd. Also on the 23rd. We got Holiday Open House and Parade in Boyne City. That is on the 23rd. Boyne Area Chamber of Commerce. And we're going to continue going through the list. These segments will be 5 minutes long, just about 5, maybe 6 minutes long each time. And these will be weekly, as Mark used to do. Santa's Arrival in Winnewa Park in Bay City, Michigan, which is near Saginaw, and that's on the 23rd. We got events also near Cadillac. We got the Cadillac Downtown Storyboard Christmas, happening from the 23rd to the 24th of November. We got another thing in Kalamazoo. The Circus Maximus Antique Toy Shop is happening from the 23rd through the 24th of November. East Lansing, there's a Nutcracker Ballet happening from the 23rd to the 25th. These are all Thanksgiving weekend, which is this week. The Nutcrackers come to Detroit at the Detroit Opera House on the 23rd of November through the 25th. We also got a Colin Ray Christmas in Bay City at the State Theater, Bay City, on the 24th. We got the Channel 955 Jingle Ball 2012 concert in Detroit at the Fox Theater on the 24th of November. And in Muskegon, we got Family Christmas on the 24th of November. Let's continue. We got about 45 seconds here, so let's see how many else we can do. Festival of Lights in Pentwater, Michigan on the 24th of November. Let's see another one. This is up in Ludington. This is on the western side of the state. We got Holiday Craft Show on the 24th. In Paradise, Michigan, we got the Paradise Christmas Bazaar on the 24th of November. This is in Petoskey, Michigan, Stafford Downtown Petoskey, however you say that, Holiday Parade on the 24th of November. And that is now, let's see, one more here. In Detroit, we got the Detroit Christmas Wonderfest happening from the 16th of November all the way through the 25th at the Campus Meritus Park that is in downtown Detroit, I believe. And that's going to wrap up this segment of Pure Michigan Events, brought to you by PureMichigan.com, and we'll see you next week for more events.
All right, we're back. So that was another really cool presentation by Mr. Ian Smith. Well, we're back with Nora Cook-Smith. It's a pleasure having you again.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming out, and it's just really nice seeing you. Well, back to the questions. I know we were talking about your influences, but I guess one thing that aspiring writers want to know is it difficult to get a book published, or if somebody wants to get something published, what do they have to do, and is it really hard, or should they just throw in the towel and not even
Oh, never, never
Okay.
throw in the towel.
Okay.
I always tell people who like to write,
Okay.
you have a book in you, or you at least have a short story or a novella
Sure.
in you. Go ahead, write. Get it down first, because you're going to want to make sure it's as good as you can before you present it to a publisher. So it is possible to still get your book published through a publisher. It's a little harder that way. You're going to have to send out a lot of proposals. But there has never been an easier time to get published.
Oh,
With
really?
all the self-publishing going on, you can go on to Lulu, or you can go on to CreateSpace through Amazon. You can self-publish your own work.
Oh, wow.
Without much cash. This is not vanity press. I'm not talking that.
Now, what's a vanity press for those who don't know the,
Okay,
all the lingo?
A vanity press would be somebody who, maybe you pay, I don't know, $500
Okay.
to come up with 20 copies of your book.
Oh, all right.
They don't do the editing, that type of thing.
Oh, okay. Okay.
But if CreateSpace actually does have people who, I guess, if you pay more, they will do the editing for you. I relied on some friends to do that one, and my husband. He's very good with editing.
Okay, great. So you have a lot of
Yes,
a lot of support.
I do. I know a lot of people in writing in the area. One of my friends is a playwright, and she went through Dead and Well and Haunting St. Luke's.
Oh, okay.
And once I got a proof back on it, because when you self-publish, it's all up to you. You're the one who has to make sure there's no grammatical errors, that your plot is working, that your characters are acting the way they should according to the way you've portrayed them. So it's more work, but as I say, it's so easy to do these days.
Really? Okay.
And Dead and Well and Haunting St. Luke's is not only available now in softcover, but I also have it on Kindle.
Oh, great.
So somebody
Great. So
can
you
pull
just
it up.
Download it.
Yeah, right.
Oh, excellent.
And the other one, the Christmas book, the publisher is working on getting the books that she has published into digital format.
Oh.
But that takes some time.
Yeah, I bet. I
Yeah.
bet. Okay. So, so either way, self-publishing or going with a publisher, it seems to you have the same issues with it, or like the pros and cons of either, I guess, is what I'm trying to is what I'm trying to get at.
Well, everybody wants to get the Random House book.
Well, yeah, of
Yeah,
course, of course.
because they have the big bucks. They're the ones that can
Right.
give you what you're looking for in the terms of publicity,
Oh,
in
sure,
terms
sure,
of book
absolutely.
signings. Mine is with a small publisher who hopes to make it big one of these days.
Okay.
When you self-publish, all that you have to do yourself, or you have to pay somebody to do it for you,
Okay.
your publicity. So, but the reason, if you just want to get it out there
Yeah,
to begin with,
Then just self-publish, maybe.
yeah, exactly. And there have been authors who have actually self-published, promoted it themselves, and then they were lucky, maybe they were at a conference, maybe somebody saw their book somewhere, and they grab it up. And so then somebody
Okay.
else takes it over and republishes it under their name.
Oh, I see.
Well, under the company name.
Oh, right.
Right.
So why would you want to go with a small publisher then instead of just self-publishing? It seems like there's more pitfalls to a small publisher than there would be to a self-publisher because you have control. You have complete control of your work, and you can release it on your own schedule, and you're not under somebody else's mercy, basically.
Well, I don't like to work.
So if you're lazy, then a small publisher is the way to go.
Or a publisher at all. And
Okay.
the reason I went with this publisher's is she was interested in my work.
Okay.
So it's I have submitted, over the years, I submitted a lot of times to larger publishers. I had one book that went all the way to final committee,
Oh, wow.
and then they rejected it.
Oh,
So this is going to happen. So finally I thought, I have this publisher. They're small, just starting out. They're interested in doing it. Let's go with them.
oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, that's. I wish you the best of luck. But you mentioned, sure, every small publisher wants to be the next Random House.
Yeah,
but
right.
then again, they could go out of business next week.
It can happen.
That's I could see that possibly being a pitfall. But then again, if they're going to cover all of the editing and final production, then I could see where that would be a good alternative than doing everything yourself.
Oh, totally. And
Okay.
you're hoping that you're going to get to a wider audience.
Sure, oh sure.
Because say when you're self-publishing, it's up to you.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, you do your own marketing. Like I say, unless you want to pay somebody
Yeah.
to do your
Which
publicity.
I imagine marketing is I mean, that could be a full-time job in itself, is trying to market yourself and getting book signings,
Exactly.
appearances, and
Right.
so a small publisher can almost act as an agent as well.
It is somewhat similar, I would say.
Okay,
You know,
okay.
and this publisher has always said if for some reason somebody saw this book or my next book that's coming out, they might say, she would say, okay, I'm willing to sell my rights in that to this larger publisher.
Oh, very good.
And so she would never be the type to hold her writers back.
Oh, great, good. If you want to give the website to that small publisher, you're more than welcome to.
That is com-publishing.com.
Okay, very good. Wow. I guess we'll move along with the questions here. Let's see what
Okay.
we got. Do your characters ever misbehave?
Oh,
I don't-
totally.
No. How does a
Yes.
character misbehave? Because that's something you're writing. That's coming out of your mind. But
Well, you would think you could control them, but they
Really?
become very powerful as you're writing, and
the
sometimes
character that you're writing yourself.
oh, they
really?
take on their own. They do take on life, and that's why I've had authors say to me, other authors,
Right.
I'm really sick of this character. I'm trying to find a way to kill them off.
Oh wow.
There's something about writing. It gets beyond you. It's the muse takes over, and your characters sometimes do things that you don't agree with.
Now, explain what a muse is for people who don't. Of course, our time is winding down, so this,
Okay.
this might have to be our last question.
All right.
For those aspiring writers, so like, what is a muse
Well,
exactly?
I think people have different definitions. I think of that as that which inspires you,
Okay.
that which wants to speak through you to get out a story.
All
Now,
right.
I also used to have a cat that I thought of was my muse.
Oh.
She's gone to the happy hunting grounds, but she used to lie near me as I wrote. Very calm, very collected. She always stayed there while I wrote. And when she was gone for a while, it was hard to write.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah. But none of my cats or dogs since then have seemed to take on that position.
So it could be just something very simple that's just an everyday thing that would actually inspire you to write. So so basically, what you're saying is people should listen to their inner voice,
Yes,
maybe,
yes.
and just follow that instead of trying to put too much into it.
I think stories come different ways.
Okay.
And stories come different ways to me. But the point is once I start writing it and it doesn't, sometimes it seems to go flat, then I let it go.
Oh.
Either I keep it on the burner for another time or
And you come
just
back
let
to
it go
later?
completely.
Well, that's
Yeah.
very interesting.
Yeah.
Well, our time is unfortunately running down. Do you have any websites you want to plug?
Yes. My Christmas book right now has well, it's actually more than just the Christmas book, but it's noracooksmith.com.
Okay, I'm sure we'll put that on the screen. There we go.
And I also have a blog spot, so it's noracooksmith@blogspot.com, and
There we go.
I review other books or articles about things I want to put out there about writing.
Okay.
And I also have 2 Facebook pages. There's one for each book: A Not So Perfect Christmas and Dead and Well and Haunting St. Luke's.
Okay. Well, unfortunately, that is all the time we have left on the show. And of course, we're going to have you back for another segment next week. And you want to stay tuned for that. Well, we'd like to thank everyone for joining, and join us for part 2 next week on Weekly Entertainment.